Alright, I'm using my my better video system here to get some better video of the top of the cylinder block, engine block. Here's a better look at the cylinder head. I've cleaned up a lot of the oil that was on it, and I can't see any cracks. Doesn't mean that there aren't any that I'm missing. I mean, it really depends on what failure occurred here. If we are dealing with a crack, and it was a crack that was caused by the lack of antifreeze in the system over the winter, then I wouldn't expect this to be cracked up here at the head, because with it just sitting, all the coolant would have been down lower in the block. On the other hand, if what caused the crack, if it is a crack, and what caused the crack was the complete lack of coolant with the engine running and the engine being overheated, then I guess we could be dealing with a cracked head. But I don't see anything obvious. Now, an experienced diesel technician might be able to look at this and tell me more. I do notice that the center cylinder does have quite a different look to it. I'm wondering if this brownish white deposits, these brownish white deposits I see on the valve, I wonder if they're indicative of coolant getting into the combustion chamber. It appears like those deposits were present on these valves, and it kind of came off. It also looks like this cylinder has been getting a lot more oil in it. So I'll take some high resolution shots. Well, general consensus from people on the internet is next step is to pop the sleeves out, because the seal rings around the sleeves, it's believed that those have been may have been baked from the overheating, and that may be where the water leakage is happening, and it may not be a crack at all. So I'm going to get the sleeves out. First step is I'm going to get the radiator out. A couple of reasons. First reason is it's going to need to be repaired if I do get the engine running. The radiator definitely has some holes in it. And then the other reason is that with the radiator out, it's going to be a lot easier to get on the crankshaft pulley, so I can rotate the engine in the process of getting the sleeves out. Well, the two bolts under the radiator are rusted solid, so I got penetrating oil working on them, and they're probably going to end up snapping off, but I'll try the penetrating oil and see what happens. So rather than getting the radiator out now and spending all my time doing that, I really want to get these sleeves out. So I'm going to rotate this shaft here, which is this shaft that runs down here. Anyways, I got a socket on this pulley, and what I did was I checked to see what the normal rotation of the engine is. So I cranked it with the starter to see what the normal rotation of the engine is, which that's this pulley. Top of this pulley is coming towards me, so looking at the front of the engine, that would be counterclockwise. So this pulley runs counterclockwise. So I got my socket on there, and with a breaker bar, because I got the head off and there's no compression, it's pretty easy to rotate the whole motor. So what I did was I'm gonna try and pop that middle cylinder first. So I've got the piston all the way down so the ports are exposed, and now the trick is to insert something in the hole so that when you have the piston going to try come back up, it actually will force the sleeve out. So a lot of people recommended a properly sized bolt that would be cut off. So I'm going to go check and see what I've got in my hardware pile. Alright, now I've got my bolt wedged into the port. So now I'm going to need some more power to get this sleeve broken free. So I've got my breaker bar on there, and I've added this cheater bar, which is just a piece of black pipe, to give me some more leverage. And we'll see how it works. Aha! So this is definitely not the way to go, because all I've done is loosen this nut on this pulley. So that's not going to work. So I'm going to retighten that nut, and I'm going to try the other pulley. Okay, I tried quite a bit of leverage on the pulleys, and they didn't want to pop loose. So I did something that was actually recommended I don't try. So I'm certainly not endorsing this, but I had read in another thread where somebody had bumped the starter and used it to break the sleeve free to get it started. So I did that. I just tapped the starter button quickly, giving it a little bump about 4 or 5 times, and it popped this cylinder up a little fraction of an inch each time until it cleared this first groove here, and then it popped right out pretty easily. Okay, this is the cylinder I just popped out. So this is cylinder number 2, and you can see at the top here there is rust on the skirt from here, so this must be the area that the water must normally, or the coolant I should say, the coolant normally circulates. And then down here looks like the other sealing surface maybe here, I'm not sure. And then just a lot of crud. Let's see if I can see any cracks on the inside. Now with the oil pan removed, which basically is just removing all the bolts and then giving some good taps on the side to break free the sealant, gasket sealant. Pan drops right off. Yeah, it's a little heavy. It's not like your typical oil pan on a car. It's got some heft to it. That's the way they made them in the good old days, I guess. And I guess also because it's a diesel engine. Anyways, now that I've got that off, I've got to remove the 2 bolts for the connecting rod end cap for that middle cylinder that I took the sleeve out of, so I can remove the piston assembly. Okay, I got the 2 nuts off the bottom of the connecting rod, and then just a light tap on the end of the studs there, and the end cap pops right off. and then you can push the piston out from the bottom, and comes up pretty easily. And well, the light, I don't know if the light's that good here that you're going to see much, but this is what this piston looked like coming out. So I haven't cleaned it up at all yet, and that's what the journal on the crankshaft looks like. Actually, doesn't look too bad at all. And I think in daylight I'll get some better digital photos, maybe post those. And then I'm going to have to clean up this. Piston assembly, get a better look at it, see if there's any clues as to what's going on here. Looks like I can see some kind of a seal down in here. I can hold this in the light with one hand. Right in here in this groove, I'm assuming that's a seal right in there. Yeah, it definitely feels like some kind of an O-ring or something there. So I guess that's the seal that seals the sleeve and isolates the airbox area from the water area. Clearly the coolant clearly is in this area here where all the corrosion is. And then down below that you've got this big space in there, that's your airbox. And then down below that, you've got another partition, so to speak, before your crankcase. So there must be a seal down there that I can't really see. Doesn't really feel like there's anything there. Must be something there, though, that seals the sleeve to keep oil from coming up out of the crankcase into the airbox, and also to keep the pressure from going down into the crankcase. So that would be, let's see. So I guess that would mean on the sleeve here, that first seal is here. And then you've got somewhere down in here, down in this area here, there must be a spot where the second seal would make contact. So you can almost see, like, up to about this point here, the sleeve is in the crankcase, and then from about, looks like about this point to this point, from about here to here, it's in the airbox, I guess. And that's where it would, and then from here to here, it's in the coolant area of the block. And then I don't know if there's another, is there another seal here? I don't know. Well, just goes to show you I don't know what I'm doing. Interesting though.